Everyone loves a good underdog story. There's something compelling about a small number of people standing up to the major empires of the time. And this is the story of the gold mining tribe that resisted the Abbasids. The story brings us to the southern part of the Abbasid Empire, in what would be current-day Sudan, where the tribes of the Bujah resided. The Bujah, who still exist today, are descendants from the Abyssinians, the Habasha in Arabic. Their territory was rich in gold, and the Bujah were supposed to deliver annually 400 dinars worth of gold ore from their mines to the agents of the Egyptian governor. At the time, Jaafar al Mutawakkil had succeeded his brother al-Wathiq to the throne. During his reign, the Bujah had suddenly refrained from delivering this tax for several consecutive years. Not only did they stop paying, but they also killed a number of Muslims employed in the mines, and took captives a number of the children and women. The Bujah claimed that the mines belonged to them, and were in their territory. Caliph Jaafar al Mutawakkil ignored the situation at first, and for good reasons. Getting into their territory was difficult, for it consisted mostly of desert and steppe. It was a month's journey from the land of Islam through wasteland, mountains, and barren country, lacking water, vegetation, refuge, or any type of fortified position. Any government representative who entered the territory would have to be supplied with provision for his entire intended stay, until he returned to the land of Islam. If the extent of his stay was greater than estimated, he and all of his comrades would perish. Al-Mutawakkil therefore refrained from dispatching anyone against them. But the situation only got worse, and the boldness of the Bujah against the Muslims intensified to the point that the inhabitants of Upper Egypt feared for their lives and for their children. As a result, Al-Mutawakkil appointed Muhammad ibn Abdullah, known as Al-Qumi, to wage war against them. Muhammad ibn Abdullah departed for the land of the Bujah, and all those who had been employed in the mines and a large number of volunteers joined him. About 20,000 men accompanied him, including horsemen and infantry. Al-Qumi sent via the Red Sea 7 vessels loaded with flour, olive oil, dates, barley, and he ordered a contingent of his men to maneuver the vessels by sea as to land on the coast of the Bujah. Their king encountered Muhammad Abdullah al-Qumi. The king's name was Ali Baba, and he had a great army, far outnumbering the men of al-Qumi. The Bujah were mounted on speedy riding camels, carrying spears with them as they moved. Their camels were of choice, of noble pedigree. And so the battle started. But Ali Baba's strategy was not to engage in full-fledged combat. Rather, it was to skirmish and harass al-Qumi's troops, so as to extend the time of their stay and exhaust the supplies. Thus, they would lose strength and die from exhaustion, and the Bujah could then easily overcome them. And just when the Bujah ruler figured out that the supplies were exhausted, the 7 vessels that Al-Qumi had sent landed on the coast at a place called Sanja. Al-Qumi then dispatched a group of his men to protect the vessels. Seeing this, Ali Baba, the Bujah chief, went on to do battle with the Muslims, rallying troops against them. The two sides clashed and fought violently. The camels upon which the Bujah fought were unseasoned and tended to be frightened and alarmed by everything. Noticing this, Al-Qumi rounded up all the camels and horse bells in his camp. He then attacked the Bujah, stampeding their camels with the clanging of the bells, which eventually got him the win over Ali Baba.